Welcome back. You're still watching the conversation on Lagos television. Now it's time for us to talk about the environment, our environment. Now, yesterday, the 16th of September, was commemorated globally as the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer. The theme for this year's event is Montreal Protocol, Advancing Climate Action. On the program today, we will be taking a look at everything that has to do with the ozone layer. And to do justice to the topic, we have an expert in that field. He's an environmentalist and a former permanent secretary, Lagos State Office of Environmental Services. We have with us Mrs. Adirunke Belinda Odeneye. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us on the program.
Good morning, Lagosians.
All right, now let's talk about the ozone layer. What is the ozone layer? I want you to break it in simple terms so that the people out there can understand.
Okay, thank you very much. Happy World Ozone Day. That was yesterday, but it was holiday. Ozone, it's O3. I'm a chemist, so I just try and break it down.
Yes,
O2 is oxygen.
Right, okay.
So when it has a third O, that's O3, and that's ozone. That's the chemical formula. So ozone is everywhere. We have ozone where we are as we're taking in oxygen, carbon dioxide, all those gases. We also have ozone in the stratospheric layer of the atmosphere. We have troposphere, hydrosphere, stratosphere. So basically, ozone is a protective gas. It's supposed to be a shield and helping us from ultraviolet rays of the sun. If the sun was directly coming on us, wow, we can't be alive. We'll be roasted. So, but there's a shield that is supporting, filtering. God is magnanimous. The way he created the heavens, the earth, the atmosphere. But human beings that we are, loving to do all kinds of things, we started spewing some chemicals into the atmosphere that helps us to break down that stratospheric layer that is protecting us. And then there are now holes, and then it starts coming down to us. So, of course, it gives skin irritation, respiratory tract infection, cancers, what we call melanoma, you know. And then, of course, it affects the environment in terms of food production, pests, you know, all sorts of things. Because when you just tamper with the environment in its natural state, and then you just do what you like. So there are precautions. We have to preserve the ozone layer.
Okay.
And
Sorry, before you start talking about preserving the ozone layer, let me bring you back a bit, and that is to also identify some of the ways by which we humans, we deliberately or unknowingly breach, you know, the protection of the ozone layer.
so in the quest to industrialize, to get better, it's good to break boundaries and try things. But as we're trying, the scientist in me is saying, make sure that you're testing those things. If they're not good, revert. But now is the time to actually go back to basics. Those chemicals that we're spewing out are now fighting us.
Okay.
They're giving us cancers and all that. So we're needing to go back to basics. And what are those ozone depleting substances? You know, there's what we call carbon tetrachloride, CCCl4. You know, basically they are solvents. We use them to melt things. There is when you spray your perfume, because we all love to smell nice. We love to use insecticide. That's thing that you press and makes the gas to propel out is called propellants. Then all the comfort things, we're sitting on nice cushion, foam is inside. That foam, that chemical that they use to make foam. We are also in a studio where there's coolness, when we're enjoying it, refrigerants, you know, freons, halons, you know, they call it chlorofluorocarbons, you know, hydrochlorofluorocarbons. So, but don't mind all those big drama. They are inside the AC, that thing that makes the AC to be cool, that thing that makes your fridge and freezer to cool and to freeze. You know, they are the things that are causing the ozone layer to be depleted.
So, are there things we can do without?
Thank you very
And I was
much.
going to ask that, do we have alternatives for all these things? Because I can't imagine, okay, freezer, for example. I need to store my perishable
Right.
food. So how do I, store it without using the freezer?
We have to go back to basics if you want to enjoy this our
What do you mean by
short
going back to
life.
basics?
Okay. For me, I've started looking at ways to go back to basics. Yes, fridge freezers, we still have it. We need to be cool and all. But for cooling, trees, trees, green cover. Even when I came into your station, I was like, oh, where they put me, not even one single indoor plant. Everywhere was smelling one kind. Do you know that there are some plants that you will plant, the smell will be like perfume? Ordinary mint, ordinary oregano, ordinary lavender, and they're everywhere. And we just need to go back to that basic. Put your hands to the ground, till it. You will smell it, you will feel it. In your house, there are just some bamboo shoots like that. Even ordinary snake plant that we call sansevieria. That snake plant absorbs methyl, it absorbs butyl, all those names.
So you
that
can
we
put
give
them in the house.
They can stay in the house. They absorb all those chemicals that come from the foam. Do you know that when they paint a room or they just polish some wood and you enter, your system, you sneeze, you cough, you react to it. You don't want to stay in that. You quickly open the window for cross ventilation. How can we build our houses in such a way that we have cross ventilation so that we don't need to use artificials all the time? It's not fun, or it's not igbadun. Especially when you enter your vehicle and in the heat. God knows that we are in the hot place, but he gave us wisdom and he gave us trees. You now put on your AC immediately. No, lower your glasses. Because all those plastics and everything that they use to make it, they are chemicals that when you just take them in like that, they're increasing your cells production. You know, the cancer cells, everybody has it. It is now how you mop up those free radicals with, antioxidants, the food you eat, the things around you, the fresh air and all that. So there are little things that we need to do as human beings instead of waiting for all the multilateral collaboration from here and there. Yes, the Montreal Protocol in 1987, it was signed, and Nigeria was one of the countries that signed it. But Nigeria signed it in 1989 because I just started work in 87. I was hearing Montreal Protocol, as a scientist. I was in the Federal Ministry of Environment, then called Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. And it was a big thing because people had to travel to go and sign. So from there, we learned what was it that was going on and what our nation needed to do. So they went there, and Nigeria, of course, we're always in the forefront. We signed it, yes, we signed it, but implementation,
yes.
enforcement are those key things. But of course, we have what an office we call NESTRIA, National Environmental Standards Response and Agency, where they set standards. Right now, we have standards on ozone layer protection 2022.
Okay,
If
sorry
you Google
sorry,
it, you'll find it.
Sorry, not to cut you short. Let's talk about the Montreal Protocol now.
Okay.
How has it helped in helping the ozone layer now to gain back the things that we've lost?
Okay, so it's a
Would you
protocol.
say that that's done very well?
Yes, it's a signing.
The countries have they, implemented what they have in the protocols?
for me,
Apart from Nigeria and other countries.
Yes, for me, actually, I was even looking through and saying, oh, how has the protocol helped us? I've seen that it's the most implemented protocols, because there is also Vienna Protocol of substances that deplete the ozone layer. So they took the substances one after the other, explaining those chemicals and why we can do without them. For example, chloroform. I'm sure you people have heard chloroform before.
Where did we get that from?
Hey, chloroform is the one that they use in the morgue.
Embalmment.
Embalmment. A dead thing. So you can imagine when they use there was gamalin. You've heard of all those chemical dirty dozens. Now there are more than a dozen, and but it's just like it's too far away from us and we don't pay attention to it. So what's Montreal Protocols and the parties that have signed it they've done a lot of multilateral actions. They've come to train us. Given us the information, the training, the supervision in the various federal Ministry of Environment, NOSDRA, NESTRIA, and then down to the state, LASEPA, Ministry of Environment. We all understand the law. We now need to enforce. We need to do good monitoring. We have all kinds of people that are in different associations. Like we have the people who use the refrigerants. These are the people that are repairing our ACs and all. They've all been trained in their small groups and associations so that they know what it is that they are using, because of course it also has to do with safety, being alive. You're doing something as a profession. It's not supposed to kill you. You're supposed to know that as you are making money, you're also looking after your health. Right. So they've done that in various ministries. LASEPA right now, I know that they have various groups that they relate with, the refrigerator technicians, the people who feel, even firefighting equipment. Right. I must mention that. The firefighters, they also know about all these halons and freons and all that, because it is that thing that propels. When you press your the extinguisher, you know, there's a force that it comes out with, either the carbon dioxide, the foam. There's also foam. It pushes out and, you know, puts off the fire in whatever form. It can be electrical fire. It can be the one caused by oil. There are different ones. Okay. But these are the propellants and and also cleaning agents. Most of us clean in the house with all kinds of chemicals. There are some people, they say, I want the toilet to be clean. They'll put bleach, sodium bicarbonate, and then this thing will start foaming out, reaction and all that. Do you know that water can also cleanse in various forms? If you use it with pressure, you can use water to cleanse. You don't need to go for that hydrochloric acid and say, I want to remove this thing and all that. And then you now take it inside. Nitric acid. All those ones, they're killers. They bioaccumulate in the system. They are in your bloodstream and all that. And
they keep affecting you one way or the other.
Gradually. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. So that's why it looks like we take environment for granted. If it's safety and you use a ladder in a very wrong way and it shakes you, you fall down and hit your head. You're in the bathroom, the floor is slippery, you slip, you trip, you hit your head. You know, safety speaks for itself. But environment, it can be leaking something into the environment and you will not know. But you're gradually taking it in and it's really getting into you, breaking down some things in your system, and then it takes a lot of time before it becomes very chronic or acute.
Since we're still on the Montreal Protocol, there was a timeline that was stated at that time, and it was said countries were given up until 1996 at that time, while developing countries were given more time. But the most deadline phase out was by 2010, and we are in 2024. Have we done well in phasing out the ozone depleting substances that were decreed in the Montreal Protocol?
I would say no, that there's still so much room for improvements. We've done a bit of training, but I think upcoming ones, maybe there's so many people who have not even heard of Montreal Protocol, all this one we're talking about. So it's supposed to be aggressive, continual training, information, and I want to thank you. This one you're doing, I'm sure you'll push it far and many will hear it. You'll break it down into different languages, because the technicians out there, they don't speak a lot of grammar. So we just need to keep it. We are not there yet. But
so
we
this
need
is
to,
where awareness and
education
is
will come. Very, very key. Education, go to where they are. They will not come to the radio station. Some people don't even have TVs. They don't have light. They're not watching it now. But you need to go to where they are, their market. So that's why the associations are taking them. And when I was in Safety Commission, we used to meet with such people too, to tell them the hazards of their job. I remember I now noted that we had Artisans Association, Carpenter and all that. So we just met them with their... So such strategy needs to be used, you know, both on the national level, the state level, and the local level. The local level is also very key. And I thank God that now we have the Algon getting very active. let them penetrate into the locals, because all these people are in the local
the
areas. They're
local
by the
areas.
roadside fixing your AC, because most of us want to cool down, and then you say, oh, can you put some gas for me? Grrr, they've put the thing. Some of them don't even cover
their
up with
noses.
the things that they need to use. So it's a work of the Safety Commission, the Ministry of the Environment. It's a multi-dimensional thing where we need to just kick off the thing. The pollution control people should tell us that, oh, you need to control this pollution in this way. And we, the environmentalists, are saying, plant a lot of trees around you. They are absorbing so much. So the way God created some of these plants, especially that snake plant that can grow anywhere with little water, if you put it near your bed, it will give you so much oxygen that you sleep deeply. You don't need any medicine to
Is
sleep.
the snake plant the same as the mother-in-law tongue plant?
Yes,
Or
that's
the same thing?
yes. It's also called sansevieria, and it's very easy to plant. And then all those ones that also give smell. We should learn to, forage plants. There was a day I was just passing on this Obanikoro. I saw eucalyptus. The Lagos State Ministry of Environment through last park had lined the entire street with eucalyptus. And I got that, you just need to just go near it and smell it. Eucalyptus is that thing that you put on the oil, you put on baby's fontanelle,
yes.
Even you as adult. And as I was cutting it, the people doing I think I saw the tire, those who inflate tires, what are they called?
Vulcanizers.
Mama kile nshembe. Àwọn eléwé ọmọ ma wá ń já kìíní. They were on the floor, they were cut down. So I spent some time telling them, because I actually parked at Shodek's garden.
Okay.
So I told Shodex about it. He said, oh, it's just, they just cut it away. He said, oh, I use it for oils. You dry it, you put it in teas, and they cleanse out all these chemicals that we've taken into our system. So the answer is in the environment around us.
Just a build up to what you've talked about, talking about how to use alternatives for the homes. A lot of people also use humidifiers.
Okay.
Are they better alternatives as well, or rather than use those ones, the live plants are better alternatives?
I use a mixture. Humidifiers are good, but you have to have light, isn't it? So, and then you have to have the essential oils. So those essential oils are like eucalyptus oil that can be concentrated. While I was sitting, a lady came up to me and said, oh, your face, da, 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 da. I said, oh, this is what I use. Coconut oil, shea butter oil, extra virgin olive oil, that I dry all these herbs around me. When they are grown enough, I dry and put it inside, infuse it for like 6 weeks. Then by the time you are using it, it's smelling like perfume. It's also helping your skin. Do you know that if I need to go into the garden, I rub those things on my body? Mosquitoes dare not come near me. So what I now do is that instead of buying those fleet, I don't want to say that on TV. So they will say, let the shell. But there's so many people who can't afford to buy Mortin of 6,800 just to get the insecticide away. Use your natural leaves, peel from lemon, peel from orange. All those ones, they are anti-mosquitoes. And they are natural, means they will not affect you negatively.
Okay.
All those herbs around us, like I told you, the eucalyptus, mosquitoes don't like the smell. Imagine that you plant it at your entrance. And of course, for mosquitoes, I would say there should not be stagnant water. Your gutters should move. And so there are so many things. You don't say that Mrs. Odene said you should put it,
Okay, so for people living in Lagos, where land is limited, and then most of our houses are, concrete. We've cemented everywhere. So how do I plant trees now? Or how do I grow these herbs and shrubs that you talked about?
Fantastic. I also live in a house that was built in the 70s. We bought it over. It's fully cemented. It was me that tried to look for a small area that I can at least do trees. And I'm happy to tell you that I harvested a massive bunch of banana plantain yesterday. And I was so glad. My husband said, this one tastes better than the one we buy in the... So it gives joy. Anyway, coming back to the cemented place, you know what I did? Those PET bottles, I cut it up like that. You know, it has the mouth
Halfway.
type.
Yes.
So then you turn the other one upside down, put some holes. There is oregano is inside it and is growing daily. Anytime I want to boil anything, even the aromatherapy in the house, pa, 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 I put it inside. You come in and you just feel that atmosphere of menthol and all that all around you. They help you to, you know, sequester carbon. Sequester carbon means that all the extra carbon dioxide in the air, they will use it for their photosynthesis and give you fresh oxygen. Then because of their natural aroma, they just give you that nice scent that you would enjoy and love, and is also cleansing to you, because like oregano is an antifungal, antibacterial, there are three things now: bacteria, fungal, and the third one. You know, they can just let it off in the way that you use it. Just hold it, squeeze it like this. You see the oregano oil coming up into your hand. Just rub it on you. It's anti-mosquito.
Wow.
Put
You
it
have
in
a
your
pharmacy in
container.
your home already.
You see, my cup, I have the cup that the handle is broken. I don't throw it away. Because that oregano is very, it can multiply so quickly.
Okay, so
I
you
just
plant
nip,
in
I just drop it inside. Just look for soil. They were looking into the gutter, and I said, this soil here is very rich. Please pack it for me. A bucket full of, there is nothing that you will not put inside that you will grow. And we are blessed with the sun. We're blessed with such a good weather and soil. Then that also brings me to the use of waste management in helping the ozone layer. The things that we spew into the air that causes global warming and all, you can actually separate your waste from home and do not commingle it. Imagine seeing nylon bag, plastic, chicken, food, and you commingle everything. Let me tell you, all those greenery, those extra okra, ewedu stalk, just put it in the soil. If you don't have soil, like she said, put it in a container.
Some even use the bag, the cement bag.
Cement bags, I have yam inside them. I have banana in cement bag. I have plantain in cement bag. I have coconut in cement bag.
Wow.
There is nothing that cannot grow. There is no matter how.
That's a way of dealing with food insecurity now.
Yes.
So it's solving a lot of problems. It solves all the SDG goals, the 17 of them. No hunger, no poverty, using,
your meals.
it solves all of it. Even our wee and our poo, they are all manure.
They can be used.
So all those people doing open defecation here and there, they should stop it.
Right.
They should go and
do
put
it in their homes
soil
and then use it to plant their food.
And whatever you give to the soil, the soil is the man, the seed is the woman. Whatever it gives to you. So if you want to, if you want to protect the ozone layer, protect it from protecting your little environment around you. Let it suck up all those gases that are causing the globe to warm. That is now we call global warming gases, and that have global warming potential, ozone depleting substances. We can't stop them in our own little way. The government is doing its bit, but there is individual responsibility.
I mean, time is fast spent. So before we go, we're also contending with issues around flooding as we speak. And you'll realize that most of these issues are man-made. Just very few are issues arising from, the environment. So how do we ensure that as individuals, we are also very responsible? Oftentimes we say government, but we are also government in our own right. So how do we begin to ensure that we deal with the situation, and what are the alternatives that we can turn to avoid flooding?
First, don't build in the pathway of water. There's some places called, carbon sink areas where they have to be marshy.
Like the wetlands.
The wetlands, they have to be like that. They are meant for rice paddy. There's so many food that will grow in such areas. Don't say because you have to live in Lagos, you will now block the canals, the pathway of water. Water we always find is level. So let us respect water. We must respect water. It will find its level, and if you block its pathway, it will be piling up pressure and come at you. So we're talking, even remembering Bono, may the souls of the departed rest in peace. There's so much that happened there, but infrastructural weakness and not doing what we need to do very quickly. we need to take infrastructural building solid. When they say put 10 bags of cement in something, don't put 2, because we will come back and meet it. Let us be faithful in the way we treat infrastructure. For all those masons out there, all those people, builders and all, let us do it according to the code of building, the code of conduct, what is expected of us. Flooding in places like Lagos, we cannot do without it. One, the low water table because of the sea level and all that and all that. So we all just need to obey instructions. The places where we're not supposed to be, we should not be there. Let's listen to all the early warning signs that were being given by the meteorological departments and the agencies. Let's flee these parts, because I know that Lagos State Ministry of Environment is always saying, leave Owode, Lede, Owode.
We talked about that before you came in. Lagos people that refuse to leave.
They refuse to leave, that this is my father's,
Yes.
so I've been here, it didn't happen and all that. But for those who leave, they have their life to live afterwards when there are issues. So we also, okay, now with planning, we should now make sure we enforce it, that they don't even have an opportunity to get there. So let's see the ones that have happened as we're managing the situation. But furthermore, we should make sure that places where water is passing, people are not allowed to build. And I know that the commissioner right now is making sure that all the buildings in the right way, the right of way of drainage and all that are being taken off. So it's not about one person, it's about the good of the entire nation. So whatever is for the common good of the people, let us do it very well, because that is really the main thing, to do the best that we can. Anytime in our offices, anywhere we are, let us continue to overcome evil with good. That would be my message to all of us. Whatever it is we're doing, you're building gutter, you're doing this, make sure you do it to the best of your ability, putting in the right amount of raw material that is needed. So for flooding, we also need resilient structures, and we also have the Office of Resilience teaching us all these things, what we need to do so that we can thrive and we can, Abagimaya is what we are. They push us, we get back.
We push back.
We push back. But basically, it's in our hands. Individually, we need to do something. And there's a song I normally sing, but I'll just say the word. He said, there's pollution in the air. Can't you feel it with your nose? Degradation everywhere. Can't you see it with your eyes? We all have to do something. Won't you let us do something to stop pollution, degradation, and corruption? So that corruption is a very, very serious line on that, talking to everyone that whatever is you are meant to do with something, do it, because it will come back to you.
Right.
We should live, we're talking about sustainable development as well. We should leave a better Lagos, a better Nigeria for our future generation by doing the right thing now. Thank you.
Before we allow you go, part of the alternatives, I know a lot of companies are also now looking at eco-friendly refrigerators, eco-friendly ACs and all of that. So what's your take on such devices?
Yes, thank you very much. Eco-friendly, using even less energy.
Yes.
We're having big fridges and freezers now that they are frost-free.
Right.
So all those frost-free, they use less energy. And then, of course, we also, we're saying, oh, I can't do without freezers. Sometimes because of the work we do and all that, by the time we start planting around them, the fresher the better, anything you are eating. The fresher the better. Let me tell you, whatever you stored for 4-5 months, by the time you are eating it, you are just chewing. Like, let me just feel this anger. The taste is gone, the quality of the food is gone, you're not getting the nourishment that is expected. But imagine, I want to eat fresh vegetables now. Is this morning I'll just go into the garden, I'll pluck it. So just let it be in your container near you. But for meat and fishes and I can't tell you not to eat meat. But some people have stopped eating too much meat because of health issues and all. The best that you can take is the vegetation around you. They speak to all the diseases around and they help us to overcome. So basically, once you are doing that, you are sequestering carbon, you are taking care of the environment, you are mopping up gases in the air. You know, there must be green cover everywhere as best as we can. So that the new technology of using lower energy is good. And then they've changed some. We've actually banned all those the styrofoam. You can see that you can even hear the foam in it. It shows they don't biodegrade. What I did in my garden, and Buki has seen that, is to have ewe moi moi. Do you know ewe moi moi is called Danieli something? It actually brings up a plant that is sweeter than sugar. So is because of that, I want to grow it to the level where it will bring us that seed. So it grows in containers, and it grows on those small flower beds. So there is so much that we need to chart our energy into new innovations, creativity, you know, that will help us. We don't want all those rocket science things that are sounding too heavy and making people not to comply. Let's just start with those little things, change of ideas, change of things. Even if you are living in face me, I face you, have a windowsill. In England, you can just go, you can either say, oh, I want to buy mint. And they'll just put some mint in the container with root inside. So after plucking the one you need, you put it by your windowsill and be putting water, and it's growing more. So by the time you're taking the fresh one, you not even go for the dry one, because they're always fresher, better. They give nice odor to the place where they are in and all that. So let us put our hands to the plow. Let us plant. Let us be green. Let us start with little snake plants that are not even expensive.
I'm sure the Ms. Dene is so proud to be an environmentalist, and I'm sure that you do a lot of mentoring from this, because listening to you this morning, I'm beginning to think maybe I should go and look for
when I went to a house, I decided like, I must plant. Today I have like 4 plants in my house. But I'm not going beyond that.
I should clap for you.
You started.
Okay, so I have that mother-in-law tongue. Yes. The first time I had that plant, it died. I don't know what happened to it. It died.
You didn't take care of it?
Maybe. They said I should not pay too much attention to it. It would just grow.
Maybe there was no air.
I don't know what happened. So I went back again. I must grow these plants by fire. So I have one now in my living room, and it's growing well. I have that. Then she gave me some. I don't know their names, but she gave me like
miracle plants. That one is also.
Yeah, she gave me like 2 extra when I went to her house. And of course, during the last tree planting exercise, I got 1 plant too. I have like 4 now. I'm managing those 4. But it's not yam that I want to plant. Because a friend of mine planted yam in her house. And she harvested yam.
Please come. Please come.
It's the yam I'm interested in now. Planting yam in sacks.
I think I want to start planting ewedu.
Ewedu, that's the easiest one.
The easiest.
Inside container. I don't eat ewedu from outside, and it's different.
And then we have this garden
on
your wall. Yes.
So
we can do it.
And I use PET bottles. So instead of the PET bottles going into my bin, so my bin outside, they don't get filled up. All the food waste, I have a container by the sink where I put all the food waste, the okra, the ewe moi moi, that's manure. And that's what I used to feed the plants. So I feed the plants from my food waste. Just put some waste. And it's not rocket science. You don't need to have a compost tumbler like me, but I started by using the ground plastic buckets that are broken. I put holes in them, just cover it neatly somewhere so that rodents cannot come inside. That's just it. All the banana leaves, banana peel, those are high fertilizer. They are watered. So, and we eat banana, we just throw it away. So when I open people's pass-through dustbin, I see food, I see rodents jumping. So my recyclables, there is an app called Packham app. You call them that I have, they come, pick it, and I have made money. Right now, I think I have 20-something thousand in my, for the waste I would have thrown away.
Right,
so when I see the people just picking, I said there's nothing in my bin. If I open it and see, it must be passers-by that was drinking and dropped it. So my bin does not even fill up. So, but I still pay Loma to come and pick. And I encourage other people to put their rubbish inside instead of throwing it on the floor. Put it in the bin. So the people who are picking, they'll be able to. So we can do it. It's not rocket science. Separate your waste and make money from it. So you not have pollution, gases going into the air. the food waste also, by the time you turn it into manure, the soil is saying thank you. Because they are richer, they are browner. You look at the soil, say this is humus, brown soil. So there is nothing that will not grow on it.
Right.
And there are so many things that are actually growing that are good for us that we think they are weeds. We don't know. So we also, that's also a learning point. Let's make up our mind to start understanding plants, especially the ones that are good for us. Let me tell you the one they call Shakapendra. It grows like this, and the back you see holes like round things like this. They call it kidney stone breaker. Once it turn it looks like mowa plant that closes up like that.
And opens.
Yes.
You uproot it and rinse it and boil. It cleanses, you know, and it grows anyhow.
Okay.
We remove it. So there's so many things
have a
called
lot to
weeds.
learn
We'll
from
probably
you,
have
actually.
to bring back Ms.
coming for
Odene to talk
consultation,
about,
really.
you know,
Plants
identify
now.
some
Let's
of
talk about
these
plants now.
yes, and
Yes.
see how we also can identify some of those plants and also maybe cultivate the habit of planting some of these things.
Hospital
for
is
our
not
own
too
good.
far. You have two of it, all the one they call Yanokpaja. You know them now. You just overlook them. Yanokpaja, miracle plants. And all over Alausa,
There's
we
so
have
many.
neem trees.
Yeah.
That is for malaria. All over. Even that, I put the neem leaves in water and use it to wet the plant. So instead of using chemical fertilizers that we're talking about for
you use
ozone,
those ones.
I use natural pesticides.
Time is fast spent. We need to go. The
Thank
second
you.
Thank you
segment
very
is
much.
waiting. Thank you so much, Mrs. Belinda
Thank you.
Odene, an
I'm happy to be
environmentalist
here.
and, of course, a retired but not tired permanent
Yes.
secretary here in Lagos State. Thank you again for finding time to be here on the
Thank you
program.
very much for what you do.
All
as
right,
well.
we'll
Thank
take a
you,
quick
Lagosians.
break. When the conversation returns, it'll be turnover Debingpe to take you through the conversation that will be after the short break. Don't worry. I'm sure Bukola.
We are.
You're on your own. You're on your own.
You are on your own.
It is our turn. We'll be right back.